Table for Two is made possible in part by grants from Margot Debris, imported quality from French master cheesemakers. Enjoy the creamy sweet taste of France, Margot Debris. Baker's Drive-Thru, serving and supporting the Inland Empire for over 35 years. Baker's, good food close to home. Transportation is provided by L.J. Snow Ford in Colton, serving the Inland Empire since 1935, Interstate 10 at Pepper.
We're going to Maui, finally going to Maui. You know, we're here on a Hawaiian Airlines, and I'll tell you, when you think of Maui, you think of beautiful weather, palm trees, beautiful beaches, Hawaiian hula dancers, and food. And what better way to get acquainted with Hawaiian food than on the airlines here? So we're going to be going real quick to talk about Hawaiian food on the airlines here with Chef Beverly Gannon, who is an incredible expert on Maui and Maui cuisine, especially on the kind of food they serve here. So let's go into kitchens and let's learn about the food of Maui, especially on the airlines here. Beverly, what makes the food on Hawaiian Airlines different from other carriers?
I think it's that the chefs involved approach the food like we would like it coming from our restaurants, so that you feel like not just a customer of the airline sitting there flying you somewhere, but that you are actually dining in a restaurant.
Okay, so it's a lot different than other airlines that just kind of throw it on, and if you like it, fine. If you don't like it, they don't care.
I don't know if they throw it on, but I think that we have a certain vested interest in it, because if you have a good meal on that airline, then you may say, "Oh, I'd like to go to that restaurant too."
In front of us, we see some food here. Why don't you briefly describe some of the dishes that you have?
What we have, this is our fruit plate that we have on most of the flights that we offer someone as an alternative. Next, we have the island fish cakes. It's the fresh island fish that's like a crab cake with a wasabi mayonnaise sauce. The salad is fresh papaya, red onion, blue cheese. We have a lot of local lettuces grown now in the islands, so any of the flights that you take from Hawaii, you will get locally grown products. Next, we've got our fresh mahi-mahi with sesame seeds, a shiitake fried rice, water chestnuts and green beans, a filet with mushrooms, red new potatoes, my Hali'i General Store barbecue sauce, which we're known for, that goes over the steak. And then it's finished off with various different kinds of desserts, from pumpkin cheesecake to little koi pie.
Okay, now, in addition to being a consultant for the airlines, you also own 2 restaurants. Why don't you briefly describe your restaurants?
I have Hali'i General Store, which is an old general store converted into a restaurant that's upcountry Maui. It's the only thing in the town, and it's a real country atmosphere. You can buy entertaining and gift items off the shelves, and also sit and have a wonderful meal, and sushi. We have a sushi bar now. And I have Joe's Bar and Grill down in Wailea, which has a gorgeous ocean view. You see sunset views, and it's an American bar and grill.
The only thing missing, I have to say, is you're kind of disappointed with the uniform. I mean, I thought Hawaii would be like this, and I just, mean,
Well, I didn't
am I
wanna-
overdressed or?
I didn't want to clash with you, so
Do
I
look
didn't
like-
wear my
Do I look like
Aloha.
a native, or I don't have a camera, but
It's perfect.
Okay.
You'll fit in well.
great. I can't wait to taste this food.
Great.
See it now. 3 forks. The food looked tremendous at the kitchen there, but I mean, here it's in front of you. The aroma, I can't wait to dig in. I don't know how many forks I'm gonna use, but but there's something missing. I can't quite put David. Where's David? I don't know where he is. I told him to be here at 4, but Dave's not here, and Table for One does have a nice ring to it. So in the meantime, I was able to get Chef Gannon to come aboard with me. And what do you think? Ready to dig in?
Oh, I think so.
Okay,
It's
well-
great to me.
We'll have to get one for you. Carol, wait, you're the chef. Let's see if you taste it first.
I'll give you my honest opinion.
Okay. Yeah, you can be the critic. What do you think about the food?
That's excellent.
Good food? So
That's
you think the food on this airlines is good?
I think the food on this airline is above good.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. Anyway, do you know where Dave is? Have any idea?
I think Dave's probably in Maui already participating in the restaurants
I think
that
he's
are
there
there.
already. I told him to be here at 4. I don't know.
Well, we don't need Dave anyway.
But just think, table for one. Table for one.
Nice ring.
Table for one. Table for one.
I was supposed to meet Allan here on the beach. He's set at 4 o'clock. I just can't figure out what's going on. It happens all the time. He's supposed to be somewhere. He's never there. I don't know why he's gotten so chronically late all the time. I mean, we can't wait much longer. Well, we're gonna introduce the show. Actually, I'm gonna introduce the show as a table for one person. Maybe Allan will show up later. Right now, we're going to go to one of Maui's foremost radio disc jockeys and producers of a morning radio show to welcome you to the sights and sounds of Maui.
Aloha, my name is Alakai, and I'd like to welcome Allan and David to Maui, my island home. Maui no ka'oi, that means Maui is the best. The best food, the best weather, the best food, the best beaches, the best food. Come and tour Maui with us. We start at luxurious Kapalua and go through the resort area of Ka'anapali with its world-class hotels and white sandy beaches, perfect for fun in the sun and every water activity you can imagine, especially snorkeling. Next is Lahaina, the former capital and whaling town, with its quaint shopping streets, art galleries, and great restaurants. Through the isthmus between the West Maui Mountains and Mount Haleakala, which gives Maui its nickname, the Valley Island, is Kihei, always sunny and pleasant. It's got its own great variety of restaurants. On to the resort area of the South Shore, Wailea, with its championship golf courses and award-winning cuisine. Considered the cities of our Valley Isle, Wailuku and Kahului are where most of our local and extremely diverse population live. This is where you'll find the best ethnic food on the island. Upcountry Maui, the coolest place on the island. This is where much of the great produce you'll be sampling is grown. Hawaii, the way it used to be. That's Hana. Tropical, beautiful, always in bloom. Well, it's time to say aloha. I hope you enjoyed our island home. To Allan and David, como mai kako me ka vela kahao. It means come back and spend your money.
Hi, I'm Joe Gannon. Welcome to Joe's Bar and Grill, located here in beautiful downtown Wailea, Maui. And you're going to see a beautiful restaurant. Joe's Bar and Grill originally started out as a painted-over afterthought of somebody else, and we came in here and redesigned it with a wonderful Los Angeles art director by the name of Jeremy Railton. We have theater lighting. The atmosphere in here is brilliant. I'm really excited about the food that we serve here that is in conjunction with this great look of this restaurant that overlooks the ocean, and during whale season you can see all the whales in the world that you want. But the main thing is the food. The food is pure Americana. and it is good. It is definitely as good as it gets anywhere in Hawaii. And right now it's called American Regional Cuisine a la Maui, Hawaii. And I think when you get here and you look at this place, you'll see the ambiance, the lighting, the whole feeling of the place is conducive with just the best food you'll stick in your face. So if you ever get into Wailea, Maui, please come by Joe's Bar and Grill. We'll show you a real good time. Thank you.
Allan, where were you at 4 o'clock?
I was there. I told you to be at the airport at 4 p.m., but no, you...
4 p.m.?
Yeah.
I thought you said 4 a.m.
No, 4 p.m. Oh, Dave, you got to listen.
And then what's with the shirt stuff here? I mean, it's awfully bright for the first time.
Hawaii 5-0. I watched every episode in the last 2 weeks, so I'm ready for it.
I think Dano should book you, actually, with a shirt like
You're just
that.
jealous, so
I gotta tell you.
let's talk about the food here at
Okay, the
Joe's.
chef here is Doug Lum. He worked with the Sheraton Corporation in California, and then was at the Sunset Grill in Honolulu.
And he's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
He's born here.
And Joe and Bev spirited him over here to Joe's Bar and Grill, and he's doing some really wonderful
This is some neat food here, so why don't we dive into it?
Go ahead and dive.
Appetizer, quail. Now, normally I don't like quail, and you know that, but this is excellent quail. This is grilled. It's with a Bartlett pear salad, also with a lemon citronette and dressing, and a little pepper to it. It had a nice little kick to it, and I'll tell you.
Big enough for you this time around?
Well, I'd like to see 8-9 pound quail. We got to raise big quail, but this was excellent for an appetizer. It's perfect size.
Absolutely. The lobster pot pie. Now, this is just what my mother hoped she could make someday. I mean, this had shiitake mushrooms inside, underneath the crust with corn, onions, and celery, some crushed thyme, and a light cream sauce with a lobster essence. The lobster claws come from Washington, and they're big pieces of lobster embedded inside the pie. And I mean, it reminds me of something I ate in Nantucket called lobster chowder, but you get the extra benefit of the crust on top here.
We also had another appetizer. This is salmon tartare, and this is with wasabi aioli. This is wonton skins with onions and capers and cilantro. And again, this wasabi was incredible. It just really kicks you. You know, it's different from the heat of a chili. I mean, this is almost like addicting.
More like snuff.
Right to the nose. Yeah. So excellent dish.
Now, the grilled pork chop. This is one of the hugest pork chops I've seen.
What was it, 1 pound?
Many a time. Yeah, 16 ounces worth. And it comes with sweet potatoes. The sauce is made from dried fruits with some port wine and then a demi-glace from the pork itself. It's a nice dark brownish red sauce. And you get these Julienne vegetables alongside it too, which include carrots and red peppers, zucchini, and yellow squash. There's so much food on the plate, almost 2 people could
Oh, it was
eat.
wonderful. I had the pleasure of coming here on Hawaiian Airlines with Bev next to me, and the whole time she talked about this chocolate cake. So it's like, we got to try this chocolate cake. This is chocolate cake. You talk about being moist, like 3 layers and rich and creamy, yet not real sweet, and but so moist. Here, you want a bite? Here, Dave, have a little bite. Come on.
You pay me for
Come on,
this?
come on, come on, come on. Open the mouth. Oh, good. Good stuff, isn't it? So, hey, this is nice. You know, the scenery too. I mean, you can look out there and see boats, going across the ocean. Nice sailboats, and our favorite sport here, tennis. You know, I mean, you got everything here.
By the way, Dev brought some ribs over from the Hawaii Maui General Store for us to sample. I thought we'd have it.
In fact, why don't you reach over and
finish up with?
Except there's one little problem.
I'll tell you what. The sauce is so good, you don't need any meat on the ribs. In fact, you can drink this like miso.
Well, we did, folks, these were the ribs, and these are the best ribs I think I've ever had. And the sauce. we were supposed to show the people this, and folks, it's his fault.
It doesn't matter, folks. You can still suck on a rib. As if there's no meat on them.
Great ribs. So, what's next, Dave?
Next, we're going to a Pacific Cafe in Kihei for a taste of Hawaii regional cuisine.
Dave, this restaurant now, where is this for the ribs?
The ribs, the Hawaii Maui General Store.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Up on the slopes of
I'm going to
Maui.
go there on the last day here.
We'll have a ball.
Hi, my name is Jean-Marie Jocelyn. I'm the chef owner of Pacific Cafe Maui. Welcome. So when you come in, we wanted to have all the action of the restaurant so you can see all the chefs in action. But then when you go on each side of the dining room, you have a very quiet restaurant where you can still watch the kitchen but don't hear all the banging noise and stuff like that. We have also a high ceiling. It's very open, and the architecture is very modern. There's nothing pointed over here. Everything is rounded. Everything, kind of make you feel welcome in the place. So our specialty is to combine all the different foods from the Pacific. So next time you're on Maui, come and check it out. We're in Kihei.
What are you doing?
dropped a piece of shrimp somewhere.
You're never going to
Stained
find it. Look at the colors.
What?
You'll never find it on that
stained
shirt.
shrimp. It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, well.
Forget it.
Here, why don't you talk about a little bit about the restaurant and the chef, and I'm going to look for my shrimp. It's around
We're
somewhere.
at a Pacific Cafe here, Alan, as you might imagine, right? And George Gomes is the chef, and he has quite a pedigree. He was born on Oahu, but he actually made the Big Island his home. He worked at the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel and the Maunalani Bay Hotel, the Phoenician in Scottsdale, another first-class resort, for a while at Red Sage in Washington. So, and now he's come here to be head chef at a Pacific Cafe on Maui.
They sure got a good one here.
He's had lots of experience, and the food really shows.
You know, it's not only just the flavors and the presentations is what really just impressed me. Look at these plates.
Well, the plates. I mean, Jean-Marie's wife actually paints some of these plates. Just gorgeous-looking plates. You almost don't want to eat over
Not
them.
me.
Anybody else want to see it? Over here, to the right.
Yeah, beautiful presentations and exciting fare. Let's go right into it and talk about it. There's a lot of neat appetizers here, one of which is a fresh tiger eye ahi sushi. And this is wrapped in nori, and it's topped with a little ball of rice and some fish eggs. And it has a tomato onion salsa and a Chinese mustard sauce. And it's garnished with carrots and radish and sprouts and chives. And what a piece of art. I mean, I didn't want to eat this thing. It was just spectacular presentation.
But you couldn't resist. We did
and
the local
wasabi,
version,
too. Lots
right?
of wasabi in there. My nose is going to be burned. By the time the end of this trip here, I don't know if I'm going to need more senses left. I mean,
This was the locale version without the tempura.
Yeah,
also.
they have one with a tempura,
Right,
too.
that's right.
So.
Now, we also did a fine dish called baked sizzling New Zealand mussels. And this has crushed cashews. It's done with lemon, garlic, and brown butter, and a balsamic syrup. And you get 5 big plump mussels on the plate. Just slurp it right down real
And
quick.
you burned yourself again.
Well, you told me the skillet was hot, but I forgot to think about the mussel
He puts his
itself.
hand in and burns himself.
Thank God the water was here.
Every restaurant. We also had a wonderful salad. Now, this is a seafood salad, warm seafood salad. It's served with shrimp, scallops, mussels, calamari, New Zealand scampi, which are huge shrimp, and Yukon gold and purple tomatoes. You have string beans, asparagus, a bed of greens, and also had a Mediterranean green olive dressing, which is a relish that was incredible, and a Chinese mustard sauce. I mean, flavors, textures come flying at you, and just an exciting
Breaking out
salad.
in a hot sweat
Well, I'll
just
tell you,
talking about the dish.
Between a hot mustard and the wasabi, that did it for me.
Also pan-seared mahi-mahi, which was great, with a garlic sesame crust and a lime ginger butter sauce that was phenomenal. It had radish sprouts and daikon radish on top, and it was served over a bed of sauteed veggies with some potatoes, kind of like shoestring potatoes.
Excellent.
And finally, the killer dish, I think, of the day. This was a dessert, and it's called Toasted Hawaiian. A white chocolate cake with a layer of haupia coconut custard with it, and white chocolate macadamia nut mousse. I mean, just incredible, and a sauce of caramel and cream. And it had this cookie rower on top, a picture of a rower like the cookie shape, and I was sitting on top of it.
Dave, I don't want to
Amazing
interrupt
the
you,
cookie rower couldn't devour it.
but our wonderful guide, Bonnie Friedman, who helped put this together, is frantically saying, hurry up, we're going to be late. So let's move on to the interview with David and Peter Merriman and Hawaii Regional Cuisine. How we doing, Bonnie? Okay? All right. Okay.
The Hula Grill has actually won Best Fish House in the Islands from Honolulu Magazine and Most Romantic Ambience from the Maui News, so it's garnered a lot of accolades. What's next?
The world.
Really? Peter, I know people have called you the father of Hawaii regional cuisine. Is Hawaii regional cuisine more or less a philosophy or a style?
Well, it's really a philosophy of cooking. It's a bit difficult to explain in a few words, but mostly what it is it's using the cultural influences that are here in modern Hawaii as cooking techniques on the food, and the food that we use, the ingredients are grown, raised, and caught here in Hawaii. So that's the basics, and from there it works off into a lot of different directions.
Peter, which cultures have influenced modern Hawaii cuisine?
Well, definitely the Polynesian, Japanese, Portuguese, Chinese, those are the main influences, but all of Asia and all of Europe have had some influence one way or another. So it's a great opportunity. You can draw from a lot of different sources for technique.
Now, I know you're a big proponent of things that are raised locally or caught locally and produce that's found locally. In fact, you used to go out and catch your own sea urchins, I understand.
That's true. I used to go between lunch and dinner, but those days have gone now.
With a bigger restaurant, more covers, I guess that's kind of difficult.
A lot of sea urchin you got to catch for this restaurant. This is a 300-seat restaurant, so it's, yeah.
Deplete the beds pretty quickly, though.
I'm not doing it.
Now, how does your style differ, say, from Jean-Marie Jocelyn or from Mark Ellman at Avalon?
Yeah, but particularly as opposed to other chefs, I'm not sure. But my own personal style, the way it is we like to emphasize fresh, locally raised ingredients, real high-quality ingredients. Then we try not to overdo our input into the dish. I think there's great natural flavors in what we have, and I try to tell our cooks to stay out of the way of those natural flavors. Just do a little bit to enhance the flavors, present it and simply, and have a nice, simple, great, straight-ahead dish.
For example, the dish we had last night at dinner, the opakapaka and parchment paper, is a good example of that too, right?
Yeah, that opakapaka, we just put a few herbs and tomatoes and lime and some sherry and wrap it in parchment paper and pop it in the oven. It steams itself and then it creates its own sauce just from the jus that's coming from the fish. So that's an excellent example. The other things that we do here at Hula Grill are we have the Kiavi grill. So we take fresh fish, all our fish is fresh, and we just put it in some herb marinade and grill it and serve it with a simple salsa or a sauce.
I know one of the dishes we have in front of us is one of your signature dishes, wok seared ahi.
Yeah, this is a fun dish. This is really, I think this is a signature dish of Hawaii regional cuisine. Now, this is something that all the Hawaii regional cuisine chefs do some version of, and it's a really fun dish. It's a derivative of an ancient Japanese dish called tataki that was used by the fishermen to preserve pieces of fish when they were out for a long period of time. And that's how this is derived to be. And we sort of discovered it, so to speak, on the Big Island several years ago, and it's really caught on. And it's a fun dish. We just marinate it in some spices and herbs, sear it real quickly on each side, slice it thin, and this is served with a ponzu sauce.
Do you get royalties every time somebody else makes this dish? Peter, thanks for joining us here on Table for Two. Hello. When we return, Stella Blues in Kihei.
Where are you tonight? Are you here for a short time or the rest of the night?
Hi, I'm Ray Ennis from Stella Blues Cafe. Welcome. And so the decor from Stella Blues basically came from a Grateful Dead song called Stella Blue. If you look around, you'll see that we have a lot of posters from the 60s, which is the generation that we're from. And there's a mural on the wall that is a blend of Native Hawaiian and Native American cultures. As you can see, the restaurant is a family-owned restaurant, and we're real into families here on Maui. We focus only on fresh ingredients, and we fit in a price range that is a medium price range with high-quality food. So next time you're in Maui, stop by Stella Blues Cafe and have dinner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner with us. We're located in the Long Center in Kihei.
Dave, back to the 60s here.
Oh, this is great. I mean, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Oh, you remember that?
Waiting for a piece of my heart. You ever sing that?
Were you
I sing that in the shower all the time.
Were you a hippie?
Take it.
Were you ever a hippie? Were you ever a hippie?
No, not really.
Do you ever have like long hair or long eyebrows? I mean,
I had long eyebrows. They used to grow together.
Did you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the food. Really, and fine food. A lot of variety on the menu. That's what I like about a lot of vegetarian dishes, and one of which is a tofu scramble for breakfast. Although I think you can get it all throughout the day.
It's right over here.
It's right there. It's sauteed tofu with green onions, broccoli, mushroom, jack cheese, and tahina sauce, which is a sesame sauce. And great hash browns, real crisp, homemade whole grain bread, and it's a really substantial dish. My suggestion, I like to see a little different type of cheese to it, but I'll tell you, we argued about that, which cheese to put in there.
Which one did you want?
I think they should put a big hunk on the side. Huh?
Some goat cheese?
Goat cheese, I think would be good.
Some puna goat cheese or something like that. You just stepped on my foot.
That's on your foot, so. Complain, whine. So. Anyway, nice breakfast, nice and hearty.
Good. You got any tape?
Good. Come on, go eat your dish.
No, we had a great curry-style chicken salad that's served on a bed of local gourmet greens. A vegetable garnish, choice of dressing. The dressing we have is a papaya seed dressing, which is made on the premises. It's just fabulous. The curry chicken also has apples and raisins in it. It's not very hot, but really full of flavor. And avocado was also gracing the plate in different areas.
Lots of greens. Also, the nice pasta selection. And one was the pasta on the light touch, it's called. Now, this is fettuccine It's tossed with tomatoes, fresh basil, garlic oil, garlic and olive oil, and toasted garlic. And this is what really makes the dish special. I mean, this is a sensational dish. And if you like garlic, I mean, Dracula wouldn't even come near this.
This dish needs no meat to eat, though.
No,
I mean, it's
excellent.
really good with the toasted garlic on top. Now, a great sandwich. It's called Stella's Special. This is named, I guess, after the song rather than the movie, Streetcar Named Desire, right? Stella in there?
You amaze me.
Anyway, this is made on homemade herb bread. It's got spiced grilled eggplant, has a little bit of a kick in it, some roasted garlic, and actually cloves of garlic that are blanched for a couple of minutes. It's real soft and real sweet with none of the pungency of raw garlic. You got sweet red peppers, feta cheese, cucumbers, and greens, and a pesto mayonnaise. I mean, forget meat when you can have a sandwich that tastes that good.
What about the salad, the shrimp salad?
Oh, the pasta salad was on the side, right? That was really nice too, with sun-dried tomatoes, and some feta cheese, and some basil, and fresh basil and oregano, and shrimp in the pasta salad with shells. Nice accompaniment.
They also have a nice selection of beers here. We had an apricot beer, which they're talking about pulling off the shelf. Don't do it, it's good. Passion tea, iced tea, which is excellent, and just a fun place. It's fine dining and something I think the locals, would frequent this more than the tourists because tourists don't know about it.
You can't always eat Hawaii regional cuisine. This is nice. It's real comfort food.
I know.
In fact, we left out one dish, the ono. It's kind of done tiki style, and it's charbroiled and layered with vegetables. And you had onion, you had zucchini, you had eggplant, two big, gorgeous white pieces of ono. And you have to kind of knock it down, unfortunately. It looks so good, but in order to eat it, you have to knock it on its side.
Which we did.
It was really, really fun.
We knocked it on its side, we devoured it too.
And then it comes in a mango and a basil beurre blanc sauce.
Excellent.
Super stuff.
Great combinations. They've got a nice idea, and they've been open for, 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, I could come for the music, and the food is a distinct extra. That's really
also,
great.
tie-dye shirts. Where else in Hawaii can you get tie-dye shirts, though?
That's right. Is that what yours is?
No, but you'd be looking good with that. You should wear a tie-dye tank top again. Okay, what's next, Dave?
What's next? Next, we're going to a Saigon cafe in Wailuku.
And I'm the owner of Saigon Cafe. Welcome to my Saigon Cafe. Our restaurant is simple, nothing fancy. We've been here a year and almost 2 years. We have still have a sign up, but the local love us over here. The basic of the menu is it's only 101 items, okay, and everything we do fresh daily. Fresh garlic, fresh ginger, fresh vegetable daily. Our restaurant is located at 1792 Main Street in Wailuku, Maui. Next time you're in town, will you stop by and say hi? Thank you.
Manners have just been impeccable for this whole show.
Stop me. This stuff's terrific. I love Vietnamese food.
Mara would be rolling around.
Mara died a long time ago watching us do this. Vietnamese food is so simple. It's just incredibly simple, but it works. The flavor is just, it's incredible food. I mean, it's not masked with a lot of sauces. And like the fish, for instance, if you want to talk about...
I'll talk about the fish, but you do one of your dishes first. I didn't know you were so Italian, though, because you're really getting expressive.
Why am I supposed to talk with my hands so much? Well, first dish we had, it's called pho, and this is a real famous soup in Vietnam.
What's it called again?
Pho. Spelled P-H-O.
With an accent over it.
Right. And this is this soup is really unusual because it's beef bones, brisket, flank steak. It's simmered overnight. She said about roughly 15 to 18 hours. So you're getting all the essence of the meat. And it's got 5-spice seasoning. And then it's served on the end with, on the side dishes, basil, bean sprouts, chili peppers, and lime. And you'll talk about the chili peppers later.
In a bit.
But just an incredible broth, real rich tasting, and most of them are real bland. But this one here is
slurp it again for me before I talk about my food. We also had a shredded green papaya salad with sliced pork, 3 butterflied shrimp on it, ground peanuts, which imparts a real nice crunch, and a fish sauce, which consists of Hawaiian chilies and coconut soda, which is a secret ingredient. And Alan, these chilies are a 1/2 inch to 1 inch long. They're bright orange, and they're fearsomely hot. I just put it in my mouth and bit down on it, and it just made my whole mouth glow. Okay, next.
Oh, my turn? Garden party sauteed shrimp. This is their specialty of the house here. This is 8 crispy large shrimp. It's butterflied, but the shell's left on. It's battered and deep fried. And it's served on a bed of fresh greens with sprouts and green onion. Real crunchy flavor. And, you know, most of the time you're always told, you know, take the shell off the shrimp. You can choke. Well, not here. Here you can chew it. And I guess because they make it so crispy, it doesn't get hard and stuck in your throat.
CPR is not needed.
No, but really nice. A little peppery, just a nice little flavor.
Keep your hands down. Stop. You know, you're talking with your hands too much.
God, leave me alone.
So anyway, the
What are you,
next
my
thing
mother?
with the apaka paka.
Let me just eat this.
The
Come on.
apaka paka was just incredible. I mean, this dish is just a killer dish. Whole apaka paka, 1 to 2 pounds. It's a pink snapper, and it's steamed to retain the delicate flavor of the flesh. It's kind of a soft white flesh, garnished with fresh ginger and green onions over the top to impart this heat from the ginger. And it's also got broccoli and carrots and mushrooms in it. You get this nice glow. The sauce is made from soy, hoisin, sesame oil, garlic, and brown sugar. Killer item.
Remind me next time it's hot and humid to order more soup.
Really?
Oh, man. Okay, another dish which I thought was actually the best of the evening. This is rice in a clay pot. And this is served with sliced chicken, shrimp, shiitake mushrooms, baby corn, peas, carrots, onions, and it's steamed, sauteed and steamed over jasmine rice. And you open it up and the steam just flies out.
On the bottom of the pot.
The crusty rice. I think Jennifer has the right idea, but I take all the vegetables out, just make it with rice and burn the heck out of the rice and have a rice.
Burnt rice and shrimp.
Right.
Get it. Okay.
Wonderful dish.
Super stuff. Where are we going from here anyway?
We have a pledge break. Now, this is your time to thank us for gaining all this weight for you. Pledge break is very important for our station. Now, this is how we keep us on the air and keeps us from going to other trips, maybe. What's bringing the money?
And it helps us to look like sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, hey, we're getting there, aren't we? This is a life, I'll tell you. So, you want to talk about the next segment?
Sure. Coming up next after the pledge break, we're going to have the Maui Community College Culinary Program, a visit at Tedeschi Winery, a review of the Plantation House and David Paul's Lahaina Grill, and then we're going to talk about the ancient Hawaiian diet with the food and beverage director of the Kanapali Beach Hotel. Stay tuned. Don't forget to continue pledging. See you in a bit. Oh, no, I don't. You're going to have to unhinge your jaw to do that one.
Oh, that's so good. I want it all in one shot.
Come on, just like the boa constrictor.
Chris, I was wondering if you could describe the program briefly.
Well, first off, Alan, I'd like to say that there's no better place in the nation to study, to learn to become a cook than in Hawaii, especially on the island of Maui, because we have a terrific amount of natural food sources. Just my own backyard at home, I have papayas, I have bananas, I have coffee trees. So as a cook, it's really exciting because we have all these ingredients to work with. Our food service program here at Maui Community College is a really hands-on program. Our students come in and within 2 days, they're very active, they're cooking, they're preparing food. Okay, so actually it's very popular now. We're at a point where we're turning away students. We have about 150 students in our program, and we offer them a selection of classes in which they learn the basics of cooking, they learn advanced cooking, they learn baking, they learn purchasing skills, they learn dining room service, so it's real dynamic, and it's geared to help our students find placement in the food service industry here on Maui.
Now, this is one of the first colleges that were accredited, right?
Right, we're the first college in Hawaii to be accredited by the American Culinary Federation, and that's the leading culinary organization in this nation.
That's a big honor.
It is a big honor. So, you know, for a little school like us, I think it's a great honor.
Daryl, can you briefly describe some of the departments that you have here?
Sure. First of all, this department encompasses a lot of the different areas of cooking. And when the students are first here, usually in the fall semester, we start off them with the beginning and intermediate cookery and also pantry cooking, which is more like doing the salads and the dressings. The intermediate and beginning cookery do knife skills, start to use the grill and the ovens, how to use the grill and the ovens. And then the next semester, they move on into the fine dining operation. My colleague here, Chef Chris Spear, is the instructor for the advanced cooking, and I'm the instructor of the dining room service area.
Now today you have a big banquet. Can you briefly describe how's that different from the cafeteria, per se?
Okay, the cafeteria, first of all, the Class Act restaurant, which is the name of the fine dining restaurant, is run by students totally. And as the instructors here, we teach them how to do the service and the cooking part. So the service part in this banquet is a little bit different. The style is different from a la carte service. It's more, there's a lot of time of more organization and getting the students ready for service in a more organized manner, timely. It's all set in different times of service. So it is pretty much easier service. Banquet style service is much easier than an a la carte service.
Chef, what type of cuisine do you stress here? Is there any one?
What we do in the Class Act restaurant is we change the cuisine each week. And the reason we do this is we're trying to expose our students to as many different styles of cooking and as many different food products as possible. So this week we're doing the foods of China. Last week we did the foods of France. Next week we do the foods of Austria. So we switch the menu.
Whoa, yeah. We'll be back.
We switch the menu each week. And I can tell you that the program is very popular. We are sold out on a weekly basis. And I think we have the best food for the price on the island of Maui.
Okay. One final question. Sure. In terms of placement, where do most of your students go after here? And do you have any real famous people that have made it?
All right. In terms of placement, we have very good connection with our local business community. The hotels, restaurants all support our students. They're waiting for our students to come out of the door. So most of our students go into the hotels, like the Four Seasons, the Grand Wailea, the Prince Hotel.
How about some of the local restaurants?
Local restaurants, yes, definitely.
What was the one from Pacifico, right?
Pacifico. We have one of our graduates is the executive chef of Pacifico's restaurant in Lahaina, and two of our students will be opening up their own cafe next month in Makawao.
That's great. Well, continued success, and we'll be here for Austria Day. How's that?
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Chef.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl.
Aloha, my name is Lou Trope. I'm the executive chef at the Maui Marriott, and we're featuring our specialty restaurant, Lokalani, tonight. Okay, Lokalani is an open-air restaurant. We feature some vintage Hawaiian menus from old cruise line and a very quiet, romantic atmosphere. The food we feature here in Lokalani is a Hawaiian seafood. We specialize in the local fish with a little bit of a Pacific Rim style. Our sauces are very, very light. We use a lot of infused vegetable reductions, fresh fruit chutneys, and really try and take advantage of the local fresh product that's available. Next time you're in Maui, please join us at the Lokalani restaurant at the Maui Marriott Resort.
I'll tell you, the Marriott Resort here, I mean, it's an incredible resort, right off the beach area. What is it, 100 yards maybe?
Not even, I don't think.
It's just, I can't even walk it without trying a heart attack. Huh?
With a waterfall in the middle, you can go from one side of the pool to the next.
Do you go swimming?
Not yet, but I will as soon as we're finished.
Okay. What about in terms of the lush greenery? Beautiful native, plants here and trees and
Chef
shrubs.
has his own herb garden too, including Society garlic.
Our favorite.
Wonderful stuff. Also, there's a waterfall in the lobby area that goes down to a koi pond, so you can do like a 3.5 gainer right into the fish pond if you're so inclined.
What I thought was interesting too was there's like 790 rooms, and 90% of the rooms here have ocean view. Yeah.
They have a kids program year-round called Kanapali Kids.
Oh.
So you can bring your family. This is great.
Me and you have been perfect with them. So
we're not married, really. No matter what people think.
Oh, we act like kids, so we have
That's
to.
Right. You taking Alan with you on vacation? Alan, one of the items we had here was Pacific salmon in almond crust. And you had an Asian noodle cake, which was crunchy on the outside and real soft on the inside, atop of which were shiitakes, red peppers, carrots, green onions. Then you have the Pacific salmon, which is almond-crusted, covered with radish sprouts and almonds, the sauces, ginger-infused carrot juice, or carrot juice, jus, basically. Very orange, basil infusions, black sesame
Sweet,
seeds.
too, the sauce.
Beautiful-looking dish and a delicious piece of salmon.
Now, presentations in all these dishes were superb. We also had an appetizer. This is a Kona lobster and Maui corn cake, and this was a lobster cake, and it was garnished with black bean relish, fire-roasted red pepper, coriander corn jus, along with a tempura shrimp, real crispy,
Right
not
on top.
greasy, right on top. Beautiful presentation, basil infusion, just a wonderful, splendid dish.
We also had grilled Pacific mahi-mahi, 2 big fillets atop haricot vert and garlic chips with what wild mushroom, eggplant tapenade, black and white beans, and then on the bottom is a sun-dried tomato vinaigrette. The three-dimensionality of this dish was just tremendous, and I really like the textures, the flavors, and the look.
I love when you get excited. You talk with your hands, too. You always accuse me.
I have a little Italian in me.
Okay. One of the last dishes we had was a sesame grilled ono, and you're not going to see this at any Denny's Grand Slam. I mean, this is spectacular. This is an award-winning dish. This is 2 thick slices of ono, and it was on top of a bed of crisp vinaigrette. It's a vegetable. It's called namasu, which is pickled vegetables, and had Kona orange and a miso vinaigrette, and also had 2 really neat-looking, almost like potato chips. They were Malakai sweet potatoes. You can only get them in Hawaii. Yeah, deep-fried, and just a really nice presentation,
Purple
really
sweet
artistic.
potatoes, yeah.
Again, award-winning.
No kidding. Finished up with a chocolate souffle, rich and intense, with Godiva liqueur and creme anglaise to drizzle into the middle, and a little powdered sugar.
Were you able
on
to
the
taste
top.
that?
I think I got a little tiny spoonful
Boy,
of it.
somebody woofed it down. I'd love to find that person.
I think we need to put out a wanted poster on whoever.
That went
finishes.
real quick. So.
And also,
award-winning Mai Tais.
Mai Tais, KFRC from San Francisco did a look for the best tasting Mai Tais all over Maui, and the Marriott came up with the best tasting.
They have a wonderful bar here, and Jerry's the manager there, and really personable, and she personally picked the pineapple and put the umbrellas on for us.
Here's to the kitchen
Here's
staff.
to you, Jerry, and everybody.
And to Jerry.
So,
great stuff.
What's next, Dave? Come on, Dave, we're working.
Next, we're going to Pacific O in Lahaina.
Boy, these are good. Can I have your umbrella? I don't like.
Probably can't even know because there's a lot of alcohol. No,
Aloha, I'm James McDonald, the executive chef at Pacific O Restaurant in Lahaina, Maui. Welcome to our restaurant. Located just steps from the ocean beach here, we have a wonderful outdoor patio. All seats in the restaurant offer a view of the ocean. We have soft marble tile flooring with pastel decorative lighting, a warm, inviting bar, wonderful view, soft trade winds, and great Mai Tais. Next time you're in Maui, please join us at Pacifico Restaurant. We'd love to have you at 505 Front Street, Lahaina.
You know, Dave, Pacifico is an incredible restaurant, but my only complaint so far is just the presentations are so dull. There's no color.
Real
There's no
lackluster,
contrast. Oh, man, I mean, it's like, yeah.
No, folks, we're really kidding. Wait till you see what these dishes
These
look
are about
like.
as
Just
eyes-peeling
incredible.
presentations as you can imagine.
I mean, you could become satiated just looking at the dishes without actually tasting them, although we didn't do that.
I know.
I mean, one of the dishes we had was the shrimp wontons. Now, these are marinated in lemongrass, and then they're wrapped in rice paper and fresh basil. The wontons are then served with a spicy sweet and sour sauce. Hoisin sauce also dripped on the plate, and some Hawaiian salsa with starfruit, papaya, pineapple, and then some hana ebi, which is dried powdered shrimp, and it's got this bright, brilliant
like fluorescent
pink color along the sides of the plate. What a visual delight.
And
The
it's,
flavors
and
are
it's served on marble, which was original marble
That's right,
flooring.
piece of marble.
That they
Yeah.
cleaned out, thank
Plus,
goodness.
Also, they're one of only 2 restaurants in all the islands to win the Wine Spectators Award of Excellence for their wine list.
Wonderful wine. So another really nice dish was the fresh fish tempura. Now, this is an award-winning dish. This is 2 blocks of fresh ahi and ono. It's wrapped in dry seaweed, quickly fried tempura style. and a marvelous lime basil sauce, and it was served with a yin-yang black and white rice, which is kind of like us. We're kind of like yin-yang.
Yin and yang?
Yin and yang, I'll tell you. Anyway, I didn't want to eat this. I want to just look at it. I mean, all these plates are absolutely breathtaking. You just don't want to eat. You just want to look at it and kind of hang it on your wall.
You ate though, right?
Oh, quickly.
Do another entree.
My favorite dish was a coconut macadamia nut crescent paka paka, which is served with a Thai peanut coconut sauce, sweet and sour glaze, and a tropical fruit salsa. And it's presented like a crab. I mean, you've got asparagus legs coming out, and just a
Actually, no, they weren't
magnificent
asparagus
dish.
legs. There was green beans.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
I ate it too fast. That's what happened.
Okay.
Oh.
Got to pick up on these things, little details, you know.
Hey, you're the detailed person. I just eat. That's my professional eater here.
No
but
problem.
Magnificent presentation. I mean, I can't say enough about these.
And then finally a piece of meat. We haven't had any meat yet.
Meat.
A gorgeous piece of filet mignon done in a truffle foie gras butter on top. And then on the side is almost orangey sweet potatoes with sweet potato chips, caramelized Asian pears, really, really sweet, a touch of ginger, and I mean, just the sweetness with the pungency of the butter and the steak is just melting in your mouth. What a wonderful
Also,
piece
pieces of star fruit on the plate.
Yeah, star fruit too.
And the crispy, like yam potato chips.
I said that already.
Did you? Yeah. I don't listen to you, you know that. Desserts, what else would you expect in a first-class restaurant here? First-class dessert. This is passion fruit creme brulee. And this is served in a passion fruit shell. It's with Tahitian vanilla beans and ginger. And he caramelizes right there. Put a little sugar on, uses the blowtorch, and you talk about quick cooking, this is it. And again, served on two pieces of marble, and colors and...
The sweetness and the tanginess of the passion fruit just make for a gorgeous combination.
I'm lost for words. This is really
You're never
breathtaking.
lost for words.
I am at this restaurant.
We need to wrap up. Where are we going next?
I don't know, but I want to stay here for another 4 hours. But
you can get a room and board contract here, possible.
Next, native Hawaiian diet at the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. I did it right?
You were excellent.
Did I do it right? All right, yay! That's hard to say when you're eating so much salad.
We're looking at some of the ingredients of the native Hawaiian diet being served at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. In fact, they're the only hotel on the island that actually serves a native Hawaiian diet. We're here with Tom Fairbanks, who's the food and beverage director at the Kaanapali Beach, and Barry Vili Arimo, who is the executive chef here at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. And Tom, tell us a little bit about the ingredients that are used in the native Hawaiian diet.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, the native Hawaiian diet is nationally recognized by the government as one of the healthiest diets in the world. And the Hawaiians, prior to the introduction of Western culture, were the healthiest people in the world. And then once they didn't know anything about heart disease or high blood pressure or diabetes, those didn't exist in Hawaii prior to Western contact.
Did some of the ingredients actually have therapeutic effects?
Yes, actually they do, and we'll talk a little about that. The mamaki tea, that's one of the things that does help reduce blood pressure. And just the general healthy, high carbohydrates, high mineral diet, but low in fat, and only 10% fat actually is in the native Hawaiian diet. So,
do you want to point out some of these ingredients for us?
Certainly. Right here we have the taro, which is the staple of the Hawaiian diet. And the taro was grown in all the elevations in Hawaii where they could get water to it. And the Hawaiians had a very intricate system of irrigation. And there were over 2,000 varieties of taro that were grown in Hawaii. And each was adapted to different elevations and different climate zones and areas so that the Hawaiians could, wherever they lived, they were able to produce food. Next to it is the sweet potato. And the sweet potato is also was grown where there was less water, but enough rainfall to grow sweet potato. So it was grown almost everywhere else where taro wasn't grown. And in between and on the banks of taro, they also grew the sweet potato.
I understand there were like over 250 varieties back in ancient times of sweet potatoes.
That's correct, and we're still trying to find them. Most of them are lost, but they're still trying to bring some of those back so we can try those too. These are the tops of the taro, and they're very healthy as well. They're very high in beta-carotene and iron, and those are cooked very well, like spinach, to get rid of the oxalates in it that would make your mouth feel itchy. And then we also have our poholi fern and our limu and tomatoes and onions, which were used for salad-type preparations. but also available product here on the island and very healthy as well.
Well, let's bring Chef Barry in. Barry, could you talk a little bit about the seaweed that's here on the plate?
The seaweed is, we call it ogo. That's a farm-raised seaweed that comes from Molokai. We have it grow naturally in the waters over here on Maui, but it's kind of scarce right now, so people are farming it now. So.
Now, this is the finished product, right? We've put all these ingredients together and cooked some up, and you want to tell us a little bit about each one?
Yeah, this is the Native Hawaiian Diet hot platter. We have the ogo salad and the taro tops, which Tom was talking about. It looks like spinach. Grilled bananas. And we have some cooked taro, cooked sweet potatoes. And this is a laulau, which have fish in it. It's steamed. A lot of this dish right here is not seasoned with salt. It's just seasoned with herbs and like ginger and lemon. And on this tray we have the poi, which is a taro root, which is cooked and ground up, made into somewhat like a paste. And this is the poholi fern shoot salad.
Do you eat these with your fingers or with utensils?
Yeah, you can eat it with your fingers or with a utensil.
Well, I need to improve my diet, so I'm ready to try some of this food. Thanks, Barry. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. And I'm ready for changing my diet today. Folks, I want to emphasize that the Kaanapali Beach Hotel is the only place in the islands which is serving the native Hawaiian diet. So come on over and get healthy. When we come back, David Paul's Lahaina Grill.
Aloha, my name is David Paul. Welcome to my restaurant, David Paul's Lahaina Grill in the heart of Maui. Our restaurant is set in the Lahaina Hotel, which has a very Victorian flavor to it. And at David Paul's, we have beautiful soft colors, wood trim accents, pastels with black and white tile floors, marble and baby grand pianos, and of course, beautiful bold artwork by one of Maui's most recognized artists, Jan Kaspersky. All those things add to the dining experience at David Paul's. Next time you're on Maui, be sure to stop by. We'd love to have you. We're located on 127 Lahaina Luna Road.
You know, Dave, I really want to thank you for helping me. I'm trying to lose weight and self-control and portion control. I mean, we really did a good job.
You've done a superb job. Do you like my food, Art?
It's wonderful. I mean, you know, we did leave the bones and we left the shrimp tails.
Well, the crew had to eat.
I know. Well, we were supposed to leave something for them. Oh, well, we left some garnish for them.
Do you know that David Paul's has won Best Restaurant in Maui 3 years running from Honolulu Magazine? It's a reader's poll. No mean feat, I
see why.
This is one of the first places we've eaten everything on every plate, no matter how full we might have been. Folks, here's one of the dishes before we devoured it, Kona lobster crab cake. It's coated in panko, which is a Japanese rice breading, lightly fried, served with a cool avocado relish and a tangy Dijon mustard cream with sambal ola hot sauce in the middle of it. I mean, there's virtually no filler in this dish. And you have a little bit of fish roe on the top, replete with striking plate designs, a magnificent looking item.
Delicious. Yeah, and also an appetizer, eggplant Napoleon. This is one of their signature dishes. This is layers of smoked mozzarella cheese with eggplant, mushrooms, olives, roasted peppers, tomato balsamic vinegar, and it has real tiny tomatoes called corons, and they're from California. And we also
really
have
tiny,
chive
right?
infusion. Oh, itsy bitsy one. You know, what a wonderful textural and taste experience. I mean, it's just a delicious appetizer.
An award-winning dish, Kona coffee roasted charcoal rack of lamb.
Ah, delicious.
Great chops, marinated with coffee beans and coffee, and red wine with some brandy and olive oil for 24 to 48 hours. And it's served with a port wine and coffee demi-glace, garlic mashed potatoes, little, almost caramelized pearl onions on the plate. You would not believe how fast these chops went.
Everything went.
It's like a typewriter.
I know. Another signature dish that he's really famous for is the tequila shrimp with firecracker rice. And this is the first entree that he really got into, and the whole restaurant's kind of built around this one dish. This is a 15-spice marinated shrimp dish. I think it had 5 or 6 shrimp in it. We'll count the tail. It went 5 shrimp.
That's why we kept it on the table.
Yeah, it was braised and with tequila and lime sauce. And it had firecracker rice, which is a red chili and a nettle seed, which gives it the color, with chili in it, as well as vanilla bean rice. And just a beautiful presentation and just a really nice little glow on the back of the throat.
Well, the glow plus the coolness of the vanilla bean rice.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of get this back and forth coolness and heat.
Who could even think about combinations like this? It's just amazing.
David does it. We finished up with a sampler plate. This is called a study in chocolate. It was a chocolate Grand Marnier mousse with a rum caramel sauce made with Valrhona chocolate from France. Then we had a Hawaiian silk torte with, I think, the best chocolate, Hawaiian vintage chocolate made on the island of Kona. And it came with a creme anglaise. Then we had a mini vanilla creme brulee and chocolate-dipped fruit, a strawberry with white and dark chocolate on it. And another one on the plate itself was sweet butter shortbread dipped in chocolate with Gendui chocolate. If you're a chocolate fan, and plus a glass of really fine port and chocolate is marriage made in heaven.
His wine list is really phenomenal, and he has a wine cellar.
Oh yeah, the wine cellar is a real key. 2 wine cellars.
Kind of walk down there, yeah.
Yeah, one where you raise this gold door up, and then one further down.
Absolutely wonderful experience. And it's a real pretty restaurant, so I'm glad we were able to make it.
It was super. What's next?
We're off with David to Tedeschi Winery, the only winery on Maui where they specialize in pineapple wine.
Amongst other wines as well.
Yeah, that's a specialty. So, well, did we leave anything? Let's see. What's the?
Well, I think there's a little meat left on the bone to gnaw. Actually, I hate to mess up the
greenery
plate.
for fiber.
We are here at Tedeschi Vineyards with Paula Hegeley, who is president of the winery and the vineyards, right? Welcome to Table for Two. Thanks for letting us come up here.
Thank you very much.
Now, as you can see, we're up at about 1,800 feet with the ocean in the background, a view of the Maui Mountains, and we've got all these grapes in various stages right now. In fact, let's walk over and you can describe some of them for us.
This is our second crop, actually, for 1996. It's an experiment for us. We harvested in June of this year, turned around and came back in and pruned later in the summer, and we're hoping to have our second harvest in December. And these are the grapes that are just starting to have their fruit set. We've got various stages, some flowering, and some a little bit more mature. We're very excited about what's happening, though. We're showing a good crop for December.
This is a first, right? 2 harvests in 1 year?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We've always traditionally just picked our season. Normally it has been from, say, February until June or July, and then tried to get the grapes to go dormant or the vines to go dormant during the latter part of the year, which is sometimes very difficult in Maui. So instead we decided to treat them a little nicer and see if we can get them to grow all year round.
Well, let's go down to the fermentation room and see how you actually make the juice.
Okay, great.
Paula, how many gallons can you ferment here in the fermenting room?
We have the capacity to ferment 40,000 gallons.
All at once do you do them? Or?
Oh, not really. We're kind of in an ongoing process where you'll have some tanks that won't have anything in them and the others are having fermentation or possibly storage. So it's an ongoing process.
Okay, and how many cases do you actually bottle in a year?
We do approximately 28,000 cases a year.
Now, could you tell me briefly about the fermenting process?
Okay, well, we do a couple different wines. You've heard of our pineapple wines, which we're quite famous for, and then also our grape wines that come from the vineyard that we just saw. Our fermentation process is pretty much the same for both products. For the pineapple, we bring up the pineapple. It's produced here on Maui in a frozen state. That way there's no preservatives with it. And we turn around and pump it into the tank and start the fermentation just like we would if we were using our grape juice, where we add the yeast and then start the process going. With the grapes, we bring it up and we put it through our press here, and then again pump it into the tank and start the same process.
And it's the same process for both the pineapple wines and the other wines?
Yes. Okay. Pineapple is quite quick, though. We turn around the pineapple in about 10 weeks.
Wow. It's a lot of wine to have all of a sudden. Paul, I notice all the tanks are stainless steel. Is there a reason for that here?
Yes, there is. As you're aware of, we're here in Maui, and half of our facility is open to the elements. Bugs are a consideration in Hawaii, so we want the sterilizing equipment so that we can keep it all clean. And if we were to have wood, we've had it in the past, and bugs will drill right through it.
So you line the tanks with wood for your red grapes when you're fermenting?
Yes. If we're going to be going for some oak flavors, what we do is we do take one of our tanks and we'll line it with oak, and we use it that way.
Well, let's go over to the tasting room and taste some of the wines that you produce.
Okay.
And now we've reached the final product, my favorite part.
The tasting part.
That's right. Paula, why don't you just kind of briefly go through the bottles and point out which wine is which?
Okay. As you can see, we have quite a bit that we've done here on Maui. The first three are our wines that are made from pineapple. We've got the Maui Splash, which is a very fruity, real fun pineapple with passion fruit wine. The Blanc, which is a light, dry pineapple wine. And the pineapple sparkling wine. Then with our grape products, we have the Maui Blush, very light, kind of easy drinking, goes with everything. We have two reds. The Ulapalakua Red, which is again a little on the lighter side and a little bit fruity. The Plantation Red is quite dry, quite a bit of oak flavors. It's our first real venture at aging a red wine. And then the last two products here are our champagnes, the Maui Brut and the Rose Ranch Cuvée.
Paul, I understand you also make a Nouveau.
Yes, we do. Whenever we can, we try to make a Nouveau. We'll do a limited number of bottles, and it's real fun for us because we're kind of even ahead of everybody else. We'll harvest in July and be able to have the Nouveau out by November.
That's exciting. Well, listen, thanks for having us here on the ranch and at the Tedeschi Winery. Cheers, and I really enjoy it. This pineapple wine is quite good.
Thank you.
Is there a hammock I can swing in while I'm drinking this? Now, we're going to go from the winery to the Plantation House in Kapalua.
Aloha, welcome to the Plantation House Restaurant at Kapalua. My name is Chris Kaivi, and I'm the managing partner of the Plantation House Restaurant. Welcome. The Plantation House Restaurant is located within the resort of Kapalua. We are located on Maui's west side. We have sweeping views of the West Maui Mountains and the islands of Molokai and Lanai. This spectacular location is one that cannot be missed. The restaurant has been awarded Best Ambiance and Best Views, and is a perfect setting for a wonderful Maui evening. Next time you're on Maui, please join us at the Plantation House Restaurant at Kapalua.
You know, to date, Dave, most of the restaurants that we've been to have had some real bold, zesty, real intense flavored sauces, and this is really different. These are light, delicate, definitely Mediterranean style. I mean, just
olive oil based.
Just a touch of garlic here and there, and
Launch into it.
Well, we had a wonderful appetizer plate. Now, this isn't on the menu, but a lot of people ask for it because they know it's there. This is just a gigantic, beautiful looking plate. Had portobello mushrooms that were roasted and just meaty as can be, just incredible. Asparagus, red and yellow bell peppers, new potatoes, zucchini, onions, tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella. It was tossed with a fresh garlic and olive oil. It also had dotted around the plate a reduced balsamic vinegar, which is to the point where it's almost syrupy. Really? It's a real intense flavor and just a healthy dish, and I can definitely give up meat for this dish.
It's nice that they have a number of vegetarian dishes on the menu, which is great. Now, also fairly light was the ahi carpaccio salad. This is sushi grade ahi, and it's served with an aioli with homemade mayonnaise. You have mixed greens sitting underneath with tomatoes and cucumbers, roasted pine nuts dotting the whole dish, and then the greens are tossed with extra virgin olive oil, and you have feta cheese crumbled underneath. And the whole thing is dressed with a little bit of tarragon, real pretty.
Wasn't that nice? That was excellent, too. We also had prawns with polenta, and this was 4 large prawns on top of polenta. And it was topped with tomatoes, beer blanc sauce with tarragon oil. Very light and delicate, and again, that's an appetizer, and just perfect dish.
Now, here's a real interesting dish, and really three-dimensional in its nature. It's called a rich forest, and you have uku, which is a gray snapper, and it's coated with porcini powder and crumbled butter croissants. And then it's roasted in the oven, and it's placed on top of tatsoi, which is a Chinese field green, and then also on top of garlic mashed potatoes, so it's kind of layered. And it's served in a Maui onion Meunier sauce, okay? with caramelized onions, red wine, brown butter, and veal stock, and a second sauce of beurre blanc. The whole effect is spectacular.
Well, you know, he's really into just bringing out the flavors of each of the products. And they're not simple recipes. They look simple on the plate, but when you taste them, you get a myriad of flavors. And
then the final dish, the piece de resistance.
I mean, this one kind of summarizes everything I'm trying to say is this is ono with the roasted mushrooms. And this is served over polenta. And the mushrooms are chanterelles, it's shiitake, portobellos. Now, they're sauteed in a pan with no oil. And just when the juices start coming out, he adds tomatoes, garlic, olive oil, vegetable broth, butter, and capers. So, you know, the combination is just incredible, especially the capers. I love capers, and that's the Mediterranean little extra that they put into it. And the ono is just nice and meaty. It's not, you know, it's mild, no fish.
Firm flesh, generous portion of mushrooms, too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of ono, and this is just...
Good dish, Ollie.
This is a nice change of pace. So,
where are we going from here?
Pledge break time, folks. This is your time to thank Dave and I for bringing all this wonderful food of Maui to your living rooms without having to leave. However, I'm sure you'd wish you'd be here too. So, again, you know, this is your chance to thank us and thank us for gaining weight and putting lots of weight this time. Lots of food.
Don't say it twice.
So, anyway, take a few moments to think about what you've looked at, to walk around, exercise, because God knows we're not doing that. And we'll be back real soon with a lot of different
I'm going to talk about those.
Okay.
Folks, when we do come back, here are some of the segments that we'll be having. We're going to be going to Ono Farms in Hana to talk about tropical fruits. We're doing a review of Tokyo Tei Restaurant. We'll be having a Hawaiian plate lunch at Mama San's. Then reviewing the Villa Restaurant at the Westin Hotel. And we're going to finish up with an authentic luau at the Old Lahaina Cafe.
Great music. Oh, dancers.
Chanting was wonderful.
Great.
So stick with us. We'll be back momentarily. Keep those pledges coming.
Aloha, welcome to the Westin Maui. I'm Barry Chu, manager of the Villa Restaurant. The Villa Restaurant is nestled amongst waterfalls and a myriad of lagoons. We're steps away from the Pacific Ocean, so our guests can enjoy a truly island-style dining experience. At the Villa, we serve the freshest seafoods caught in the Hawaiian Islands. Our chefs combine the flavors of the islands with seasonings gathered from the Pacific Rim. Please come and join us the next time you're in Maui. We look forward to serving you. Aloha.
You know, before we get to the food, I really want to talk about the grounds here at the Westin Hotel. This is incredible. This is a 12-acre resort. It's right on the beach, the Kahanapali Beach. It's 3 miles from historic whaling town of Lahaina. 761 rooms. Most of the rooms are, you know, oceanfront, you know, views. I mean, everywhere you look, there's tennis, there's golf, 8 restaurants and bar. And the grounds here, lush, tropical, waterfalls.
Water everywhere.
Oh, man.
And lots of drops to drink. There's more white water here, I think, than at the Stanislaus River in California.
Talk about the pools here.
87,000 square feet of pools. And you can have swim-through grottos that connect 5 separate pools. There's a water slide. My best time record is about 6.5 seconds.
Well, with all the weight we put on, you did pretty good.
But there's also a restaurant called Sound of the Falls here, in addition to the villa that we ate at. And they have statuary and busts of different oriental figures.
Beautiful.
Artifacts, vases, sculptures all over the hotel.
First-class resort, I'll tell you.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of first class, let's talk about the food here. We started with a lobster taco. This is a fried rice paper wrapped around pieces of lobster, shrimp, spicy avocado, Maui onion, cilantro. I believe it had Napa cabbage in it too. And just a real fresh-tasting dish with a myriad of flavors. Just delightful.
Now, a winner of the 1995 Best of Show, A Taste of Lahaina for appetizers with the tangled tiger prawns. They're wrapped with a shredded phyllo dough and a chili cilantro garlic sauce. It's just a killer sauce. And you have fresh Maui pineapple topped with field greens, black and white sesame seeds on top, toasted macadamia nuts, and light shreds of daikon radish and carrots to top it off.
Incredible, wasn't it? My favorite of the whole evening was the seafood potpourri. This was shrimp, scallops, clam, crab, mussels. It was swimming in a saffron seafood broth. I mean, it's right here. And while you talk about your next dish, I'm going to eat this. I wanted like a loaf of bread, just kind of swim into it, dive into it.
Go ahead, Alan.
It was wonderful.
2.5 gainer into the plate.
Except there's no spoon, so I'll use a shell.
Well, the tea leaf wrapped shitomi, which is the locally caught swordfish. This is baked with crab meat on the top and unbelievably good sauteed julienne veggies with slices of shiitakes. You have zucchini and carrots, yellow squash. The fish has a really mild flavor. It's real moist and flaky. And they also have a little bouquet of fried somen noodles on the side of the plate. And finally, the dessert, a macadamia nut mousse. This has got 3 layers of sponge cake with a vanilla cream filling. It's got a chocolate sauce and strawberry and mango coulis across the edge of the plate, and it's all covered with a chocolate ganache. One of the best desserts we've encountered in our entire trip. So, you using a spoon? Oh,
I couldn't find any, so I got the spoon in here. So,
spoon. Okay.
Folks, we're in for a treat next. Dave's going to be going to Ono Farms, which is located in Hana, and we're going to talk about exotic fruit and vegetables, right?
No, just fruit.
Just fruit?
Yes.
Okay, just fruit.
Maybe next year they'll have vegetables.
While he's talking fruit, I'm going to be eating this. Ah.
We are here with Chuck Borner and family of Ono Farms in Hana on Maui. And Chuck is an organic farmer, and you can see in front of us this gorgeous cornucopia of fruit. Chuck, how many different varieties of fruit do you actually do?
Wow. Yeah, we probably get, we must have 40 or 50 different kinds of fruit if we total them all up. Not all of them go off all year long, luckily. So that at any one time, I bet you we're harvesting about 20 different kinds of fruit.
And what are the advantages of organic farming versus non-organic farming?
Well, I guess the main advantage of organic farming is hopefully you're not polluting the environment at all, and you're producing something that's really healthy for people to eat. So whatever extra you have to pay for it is actually irrelevant, and I don't feel organic has to compete with anybody else.
Are the flavors more intense? Are they lusher type fruit?
Definitely your flavors are much more intense. It restricts you in some ways. Certain fruits you can't grow, or veggies you can't grow organically in Hawaii. So it's a challenge all the time.
And by organic we mean no pesticides, right? Or anything else that you don't use or wouldn't use?
We don't use any pesticides, we don't use any herbicides, we don't use any chemical fertilizers. So all of our fertilizers are usually have to occur naturally in the environment, whether they're mined in green sand mined in New Jersey, or the compost that we make here on the farm with a chicken manure and wood chips and seaweed and cow manure all mixed together.
Well, let's launch into some of these. Why don't you start out with some of the fruit I've never seen before?
Okay, this is what we call this is a Rollenia deliciosa. It's related to the Cherimoya. It's in the Annona family. There's quite a few varieties of it, but they only grow here in the warmer climate. So you wouldn't find it growing in California at all.
You want to cut into that? Let's see what it looks like in a minute.
Sure. This one is maybe
or one of the others.
Ripe as that one there. Although you could cut this one. Cut this one.
What kind of a flavor does it have?
It has it's called a lemon custard is the flavor we like to think describe it. It's similar to Cherimoya, only it's not quite as sweet. This here is a pomelo. This is this big citrus fruit here. Here it is as it's cut in half.
A tropical grapefruit, essentially?
Yeah, it's sweeter than a grapefruit, but not quite as juicy. And you usually have to peel it or eat it in watermelon style like this. As far as the guavas go, this is the normal guava you see. This is another one that's a white gourmet guava.
See, I've never seen an intact guava. I've only seen them as juice. How come you usually just see it as juice as opposed to to the fruit itself?
It's a very delicate fruit. It just doesn't transport at all. You almost have to pick it and eat it off the tree directly. So to get it to a market or to get it into a hotel, you have to take just extra care with it.
And you have passion fruit here too?
We have passion fruit also. These are your passion fruit here. We could even cut one of them open. Let you see inside of them.
That's a tough skin on that passion fruit. Are all the seeds pretty much edible inside the fruit?
Yeah, they're all edible. You can just scoop it out and eat that out with a spoon.
Hey, boy, I'm getting hungry. You want to just cut that star fruit over there for us and show us why it looks like a star?
Yeah, just cut it in the star. There you start.
Folks, this is really fruit heaven. I've never seen anything like this before anywhere. I mean, and Hana's, I guess, the perfect place to grow all these lush fruit.
Exactly. We don't have, irrigation is our prayers. Every time we want it to rain, we just pray a little harder. So, works pretty well.
Chuck, thanks very much, and your whole family for being here. And we're going to launch into eating some of these exotic fruit, too. Thanks again.
Great. Thank you for coming by.
As we leave Ono Farms, we're heading to Tokyo Tei for a taste of Japanese food.
Hi, my name is Eunice Kitagawa. I'm the proprietor of Tokyo Tei Restaurant. Welcome to our restaurant. We have been around since 1935. My grandfather had originally come over on a ship for a sumo exhibition, and he had been low man on the ship. He was a cook then. And he liked Hawaii so much, he jumped ship, went into the mountains to hide, and when the ship took off, he stayed and started the restaurant. Our food is pretty much considered local Japanese food. We have incorporated the Hawaiian taste with Japanese cooking, and I guess it's maybe more flavorful than what I hear Japan does. Japan is more bland. We have large portions. Our price ranges from $6 to $12, and the local people seem to like that a lot. They're large dishes. We're located in Wailuku on the island of Maui. We're a little hard to find, but we're worth it. Come and visit.
This is the most popular Japanese restaurant on the island, and this is where all the locals eat. And in about 15 minutes, we're going to see a whole bunch of them, so you got to hurry up on this review.
The Maui News Readers Poll, Best Japanese Restaurant in '96.
Really?
But before we start, you haven't done any snorkeling at all. You haven't gone in a helicopter. It's like you don't want to exert yourself. I don't understand it.
Dave, last time I went snorkeling, I was harpooned, okay? I mean, I was laying on the beach, they rolled me back in with a net on top of me and everything. So I don't go any water, I'm not involved in any water sports.
Moby board?
In terms of helicopters, I saw Apocalypse Now. I never will go into a helicopter again.
Good. Okay.
Sorry.
Some of us just don't
clear it up,
do
folks.
those things.
Okay, let's talk about some of the appetizers here. One of which is called yodofu, and this is cubes of tofu, and it has a Worcestershire soy sauce, and it's a very simple dish. You just stick the cubes in, touch it with the sauce, and the sauce is wonderful. It's a nice Worcestershire style sauce. And
you're doing a Bob Dole, you're just using your right hand.
I got to. No, I was told not to use my hands. You got to bring to everybody's attention. I talk with my hands. There, the rest of you, I'm sitting on my hands. Okay, talk about your dish now.
Okay, well, one dish we have is called saimin. And this is a noodle dish with broth, whatever meat is available, some green onions, some shredded egg, and it's served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the quintessential Hawaiian street food. And it's just really hearty, and the noodles are nice al dente noodles.
I thought the best dish here was the tempura dish. I stuttered here.
How many teeth does it have?
Tempura dish. This is magnificent. This is carrots, string beans, zucchini, giant shrimp. There's like 5 or 6 of them. Had a wonderful shiitake mushroom broth with soy sauce. It was light. It was crispy. No grease. It's hard to say things without your hands. And just the ultimate tempura. This is just a beautiful presentation.
Also first rate was the sashimi. Absolutely impeccably fresh ahi that just was velvety, melted in your mouth with some incendiary, actually volcanic wasabi to mix in with the shoyu sauce, which is a mix of soy sauce and shrimp paste.
Another really wonderful dish is a teriyaki steak. This is real traditional. This is served with a beautiful plate. It's top sirloin steak that's grilled, that's marinated, and just a really nice, sweet, kind of gingery teriyaki sauce. And with plain rice, that's all you need. You're in heaven.
And then there's yakitori.
And this is a very thin skewered chicken with green peppers and also with onions. And it's easier to get in your mouth than some of those big kebabs that you see in Middle Eastern restaurants. Lightly teriyaki and then broiled. You have one more item to talk about, right?
Oh, this is wonderful. This is a nice combination plate. This is called teishoku tray. Now this is sashimi, tempura, teriyaki pork, and rice, and a little bit of wasabi, just enough to get you going. And it's just a nice little presentation. It's under $10, so if someone comes here and wants to dine alone, it's just a real nice selection.
That's one of the 4 versions that they have.
Right, and I'll tell you, I'm real impressed with the food here. It's fresh, it's beautiful presentations, and
your time's up.
My time's up.
You know where we're going next? Okay, we're going to the island's biggest plate lunch at Mama San's in Pukalani.
Ooh, here, have some tempura. No, come on, eat more, come on. We're in the kitchen of Mama San's restaurant here in Maui, and John, I wonder if you could tell me the historical background, history of the plate lunch.
Well, I think it started well over about 100 years ago when all the immigrants started coming into the island to work, and they all started bringing in their own ideas of their own country food. And there'd be a lot of mixture of different variations, and it just turned out to be called a plate lunch, and it is probably the biggest meal of the day for the people living in Hawaii.
What different countries were represented at the time?
Portuguese, French, there's some Chinese, and Koreans too, yeah, okay. But real minor in the Korean. And just everybody just got together and started tasting each other's food and put it all together.
And lunchtime was the most important meal of the day, right?
Yeah, because they were probably too tired to go home and cook again after working out in the fields all day long.
Why don't we take a look at some of the examples of the plates that you offer here and kind of think back in 100 years from now how it used to be?
Boy, that's a tough question. I wasn't there at that time. Here we have about 7 different variations of vegetables. The bean sprouts originated in Korea, and then the shredded daikon is more of a Japanese style, and then we move on to the salted cabbage, which is more local, and seaweed, kimchi, and then the macaroni salad, which is probably the most popular on the island for the local people. And we just give variations. They let them have their choice of vegetables.
And it comes with rice, of course.
Oh, it comes with 3 scoops rice.
Okay, that's a Japanese influence of sticky rice?
Yeah, it comes from there. Okay, here we have the barbecue chicken, which is marinated in our special sauce. And the mandus are made here in the kitchen. And this is a beef sliced thinly that's battered, put in flour, battered in egg, and then thrown on the grill. And then here we use the panko flakes, and we put it in egg and then panko and deep fry it, and we chop it up for the customers. And that is our marinated kalbi ribs, which is a short rib, and we marinate that and put it on the charbroiler to order.
John, thanks for sharing the history of plate lunches. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for coming.
Okay. Next, the island's best luau at the Old Lahaina Luau. Incredible entertainment, wonderful dancers, beautiful chants, lovely songs, and terrific food. Well, Pac, I was wondering if you can tell us the history of the luau.
Sure. A luau is actually a celebration of food. The actual word luau comes from a leaf that we eat. We actually wrap around the meats. We wrap it with a tea leaf and we bake it in the imu, steam it. And what we do is when we open the outer leaf, we eat this leaf inside, and it's called luau.
So it's a celebration of food. What about in terms of all the music? What's the typical luau?
The merriment also came with the food after they ate, and we eat and we eat, and we get very relaxed. And this also brought out a nice entertaining side of us, and we entertain each other by dancing hula, playing ukuleles, ipus, whatever we could get our hands on, we would play it and entertain each other after dinner.
What about, is there any like ceremonial or religious significance of any of the luau, things that are happening to luau?
It wasn't so much for ceremonies. Actually, we celebrated, of course, with our royalty, and that's where the imu came, because we would also feed our people and our kings pigs from days of old. And
so you're talking just partying. This is just a party. So there's no religious, no cultural, just one big giant party.
That's right. It's just a big party of happiness, celebrating together, and the feast of food.
Okay, speaking of which, there's a lot of food at your luau, and how does your luau here differ from, let's say, a real traditional, the old-time luau?
Well, of course, today we have to make do with other types of food, because if we had a rural traditional luau, we would have raw crab here split in half, raw fish with limu, which is the seaweed from the sea, and most people were not too daring to try this type of food when they come to visit the islands. But that's why we have other things like our haupia, sweet coconut pudding for them. We have banana bread, which they can recognize, and also some of our hot foods like mahi-mahi baked fish, our pua'af, which is the kalua pig from the imu. We have some favorites up there too, like steak and beef and stuff like this too.
Wow, so again, this is all you can eat and drink luau. So this is more party.
Open bar there with all your tropical pina coladas and whatever you like to drink tonight.
Sounds wonderful. Now you also mentioned the pig in the imu. Can you describe how the process of making the pig?
Sure, the kalua pua'a is always what we wait to come out from the imu. The imu is actually an underground oven, and what we do is we get a 200-pound pig. We open it up and clean it. We put the rocks inside. Well, first we bake the rocks and make them hot for about 2 hours. Then we put the rocks inside the pig, put some more underneath of them, put the pig up on top, and we cover it with banana leaves and the dirt. It's like a big pressure cooker when the pig comes out after it cooks all day. 6 o'clock when we open the imu, it's all falling apart. It's very nice beef, nice pig.
So you're so enthusiastic. I mean, you already partied before it even started, it looks like. This is great. I'll tell you, I can't wait to experience this. And in fact, we are in a couple of seconds. So,
well, we're actually going to take out the pig in a little while, so you can experience that firsthand. It'll be coming out, and we'll be explaining how we do that style of cooking right there.
That's great. I really appreciate this time. And
thank you very much.
Mahalo to you.
You look pretty ancient. Poi is one of the staples of the Hawaiian diet. It's mashed up taro root. And the Hawaiians actually believe that they came from taro plants. Those were the gods.
Well, the luau, that's what it comes from, the leaf taro. That's the name, luau.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Oh, you're pretty bright. I didn't know that.
Thank you.
What else are we eating tonight?
This luau is really interesting because they have a whole bunch of different salads. They have an onion salad, crab salad, they have a taro salad. They have, you mentioned poi. They have some traditional dishes.
And you can mix the poi with some steak or dip your steak into the poi.
Right.
Good combination.
What other traditional dishes do they have here?
We've got lomi salmon, which is a marinated salmon with onions and tomatoes.
Pineapple chicken, sweet and sour pineapple chicken, steak, marinated steak.
You got poke, which are cubes of ahi that are raw and marinated and served with onions.
Stir-fried vegetables. They have local sweet potatoes.
From Molokai, purple sweet potatoes, right? That's something else.
Purple.
Yeah. And then we've got the kalua pig. The kalua pig is done in the imu.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, where they put the stones down and then you take the pig out and it's really nothing else there but the meat is falling off the bone. Wrapped in banana leaves, tied with tea leaves, and you just can't get enough of the shredded kalua pig.
For under $60, I mean, this is incredible. All you can eat, all you can drink, music, great people, great weather, great ocean. Speaking of which, I'm full. I don't know about you.
I know, but one other thing, for visitors coming to the islands, this is probably the most authentic luau available to them.
That was a good choice, I'll tell you. So, let me finish up my pineapple drink here, and I'll tell you. Want to take a walk on the beach?
Is that one of those virgin drinks without alcohol?
I'm going to drink.
You're saving yourself for that drink for a long time.
Straws for you. Come to Hawaii.
Now you said you want to walk on the beach for a couple of 100 yards to work off all the calories. Is that the plan?
Then we'll come back and have more on the line, okay?
Sounds good. Ready now? Well, folks, our trip to Maui is about at an end. We really don't feel too good about it being over, do we?
Stay here.
You think we can get bed and breakfast or something here every day?
KVCR, does it go this far?
Yeah, people, you can catch it on your local PBS station. Just get a satellite.
So what a wonderful little place here. I mean, beautiful surroundings, lush greenery. People here are very nice. I mean, they really
free lays.
Yeah.
Right?
Smells good. Great food and just a wonderful time. Very relaxing. Something we relax so much we didn't even fight.
I know. Well, I even lost my tie. I almost have my shirt buttoned down on my navel like you do most of the time.
I'll tell you, so.
It was real relaxing.
I thought a great way to end this show is, again, a nice feeling about Hawaii. So let's talk about ancient Hawaii. hula dancing. We haven't had any.
Some traditional hula, right? As we finish.
As the sun sets and the food digests.
And we're not gonna sway for you, folks. We'll let the hula dancers do that. They're much better at that. So aloha. We hope that you'll be able to come to Maui sometime soon and partake of some of these restaurants.
What's the other word? It means goodbye.
That's it.
Oh.
Mahalo means thank you.
Thank you.
Mahalo. Thanks for watching.
You gotta feel aloha. Aloha brings us all together. Sing aloha. If you're looking for love and pleasure, say aloha. Reach out and let a helping hand. You gotta feel aloha. Aloha. The heartbeat of this land. You can have aloha, just open up your heart and share it with a great big smile. Making someone happy each and every day just takes but a little while. You can have that feeling that comes from within, that makes you feel so good inside. Because aloha means with all my love, all my love to you. You gotta feel aloha. Aloha brings us all together. Sing aloha. If you're looking for love and pleasure, say aloha. Reach out and lend a helping hand. You gotta feel aloha. Aloha. The heartbeat of this land. You gotta feel it. Everybody sing it. The heartbeat of this land. You gotta feel it. Aloha. The heartbeat of this land. Get healthy.
Table for Two is made possible in part by grants from Margot de Brie, imported quality from French master cheesemakers. Enjoy the creamy sweet taste of France, Margot de Brie. Baker's Drive-Thru, serving and supporting the Inland Empire for over 35 years. Baker's, good food close to home. Transportation is provided by L.J. Snow Ford in Colton, serving the Inland Empire since 1935, Interstate 10 at Pepper.